My boots are laced. Oh, shit! Mike, where you going?
Turn that light off. Turn it off, Josh. You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. You?
I'm Peter Venkman.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Damn! Hot.
I'm kind of a big deal.
First thing my brother is, do not talk about my
Yeah, baby!
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Hello, welcome back to Frame by Frame.
Hello.
That is Andy.
That is me, and the other one is Stephen.
And we are hosting here at the dining room table in the living room.
Yeah, glorious Frame by Frame HQ.
Yes, it's a beautiful day actually.
It is. Quite treacherous drive through the snow.
Yes,
It's very
snow.
cold.
Yeah, you've got a lot of snow where you are.
Yeah, it's very, it's quite, well, I say snow, it's ice really.
I can't wait for us to release this in March. In this beautiful springtime weather.
Yeah, as we're famous for here in the UK. So what are we discussing today, Stephen?
What are we discussing today? Something happened.
Yeah, something happened. A film got released. That was called Into the Woods.
I wish.
You wish to have the curse reversed? Go to the wood and bring me back a cow as white as milk,
These beans carry magic.
the cape as red as blood,
Oh dear, how uneasy I feel.
the hair as yellow as corn, the slipper as pure as gold. Go to the wood!
Into the woods without delay, but careful not to lose the way. Into the woods, who knows what may be lurking on the journey.
Good day, Mr. Wolf.
And what might be in your basket?
I must find that girl.
All will come to a happy end.
I ain't flying! You understand me?
Into the Woods is a play that was a musical that was written in 1986.
Yes.
Even though it's clearly been written before. The material itself has been written before.
Yes.
Do you recognise any of the concepts in Into the Wood?
I think I do, yeah. I think...
It's not familiar.
There's Cinderella.
Yeah,
There's a Cinderella type character in it called Cinderella.
And there aren't many movies about that type of character, Cinderella.
No, there's a girl with really long hair who lives in a tower.
Rapunzel, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's been in a film before.
Uh-huh.
There's like princes.
The princes.
There's a boy called Jack.
Jack, and he has beans.
He has beans.
Magic beans.
Yeah. So what did you think of Into the Woods? This
Red Riding Hood.
Oscar nominated film.
Here's my take on Into the Woods, okay?
Go.
This seems to be a film that it felt desperate. It felt so needy and desperate. It had and for some reason I kind of get that feeling from Into the Woods that the actual play itself, the musical, it seems as though that if you're brought up in America, your school will eventually do this play, and everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants it. It's Into the Woods, Into the Woods. But it's clearly, you know, all the stories are ripped off from old fairy tales, and just to kind of make things just take it up to 11, they want to have Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Jack and the Beanstalk all together. I think those are all the stories there.
Yeah.
Put them all into one big production. So of course Disney, I'm surprised that they've waited this long to do this. I can understand the allure of the production for doing it as a play. I mean, everybody then gets to play. I mean, there's always a fight over who's going to play a princess. If they're just going to do Little Red Riding Hood, you're going to have one person who wants to do it, and you know, it's probably reducing the suicide rate by having multiple protagonists.
Yeah.
So that the self-esteem of these children in schools in America is maintained.
Interesting you say that, Alex, because
I don't know why
the sort of redeeming feature of these fairy tale classic Disney things is
yes,
it all works out nice in the end.
Yes,
but they kind of take that away in this film, because when all the usual endings all tie up and everything's gone nice, then another giant comes up and starts making everything bad and people start dying.
Yeah.
So what
was this? I mean, I'm not too sure if this was actually in the Into the Woods original written penned story. I'm not too sure if musicals actually all did this, if they all actually had happy endings. I have no idea how different this Walt Disney version is to the actual original story.
Right.
So, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, that whole thing, I mean, it was ending nicely. Everything was kind of like, everybody was standing on the castle, and it was...
Yeah, absolutely. And at that point, I was like, oh...
I was okay.
And I was like, oh, thank God it's ending, because it was difficult to get to that point for me.
Yeah.
Because the film, it's not very good. And, but when it got to that point, I felt, yeah, right, it's going to end great, finally.
Yes.
And then it goes on for another hour.
It doesn't disappear. It stays there.
And what's it trying to say? Is it
Yeah.
trying to say that, like, don't look for like a perfect prince, because it doesn't exist, because obviously after that point where he's got married to Cinderella, he hits on Emily Blunt, doesn't he?
Well,
is that telling kids to never dream, or don't look at these fairy tale stories that we've been making?
Isn't this like the EastEnders version of?
It could be the Jeremy Kyle Disney film.
The Jeremy Kyle Disney film that no matter how hard you try, things will fall apart.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. There's no message in Into the Woods that says anything other than be excessive, be overly excessive in your life. Go for what you dream, sure, but don't give it any thought. Don't think about what it is you actually want to do, and actually don't take into consideration other people's lives. And you know, it seems very selfish. The problem with this film is it's multi-protagonist. There are too many, and they're all coming in together, and they're all coming into the woods, of course. But none of them really know what the hell they're doing.
And did you get the message? The woods are actually lives. The woods.
Sorry, say that again.
The woods is a metaphor for life. Did you get that?
Yeah, because you never know what.
Because it all happens in the woods.
It all happens in the. Yeah,
it was really. Oh.
I don't think that's a message at all. That's just cheap and lazy storytelling. But the thing is, you've got all these protagonists, and none of them really know what they're doing. And when the problem is like the farmer and his wife. The baker and his wife, the ones who can't get a bun in the oven, but they can always get a bun in the oven.
Yeah.
They get told that they've got to look for this, and they've got to go into the woods. They don't actually sit there and have a moment like normal protagonists to say, should we be doing this?
Oh no.
No. They a witch comes in and they say, well, if you have this, then we'll give you a beautiful child. And it's like, oh yeah, let's do it. I mean, there's no texture to these characters. They're just like, let's just move the story along.
Yeah.
And yet when he does arrive at the Little Red Riding Hood, doesn't that thing in his head pop in his head that says, hang on, I'm supposed to get a red cloak. She's wearing a red cloak. He actually waits until the little girl gives it to him before he actually... and he still doesn't acknowledge the fact that he's just been given a piece of this ensemble of the things that he's supposed to collect. So he kind of epitomises the lack of self-awareness that these characters have, the lack of understanding about where the actors actually are in the production, or the fact that nobody really knows what the hell's going on.
Exactly, yeah. Because, right, obviously it's a fantasy film, right?
Of course.
But you've still got to sort of... you've still got to have a bit of reality in there. One thing that really got me is that when the Bakers are in the house at the very beginning, and you know when Meryl Streep smashes the door down and then declares that I put a curse on your father and it's on yours, on this house, and you must do this, and then you will get a child. And then she just disappears. Yeah. I was thinking, this is how much I wasn't into the film. I was thinking, why did she smash the door down when she can just disappear and reappear? She smashed the door down and then if I'd been the baker, I would have been saying, alright, she just disappeared and she just smashed that door down. Yeah. I mean, what's all this about? What a nasty woman.
Nasty woman. And but it's funny what you said there, you know, it's that even though it is fantasy, fantasy films need to be grounded in the reality that they're trying to portray.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Good fantasy films do that.
Otherwise, it just becomes... you don't feel anything for it. I did not feel anything for this whatsoever.
And another thing, because it's a musical, isn't it?
Of course.
Sing me one of the songs now. We both watched this film yesterday.
Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods.
Into the woods go ye, so we come and take it. It's a great fine string, we go
I don't know what we're yelling about! Loud noises!
That's the only thing that's going for it. It's just those three.
Right, so I would say this film's based at like 5 to 13-year-old kids, would you say?
Yeah, I think from 11 to 18.
I
think 11 to 18, and then 18 will be like, oh, well, I like the princes, and that's about as far as it goes. But 11 will be like, they'll just get it in their heads, and that's it. But for young kids, forget about it. This is not a Walt Disney thing. It's not, you know, I mean, again, it doesn't grab you. There's nothing in it that makes you gravitate and think, ooh, it doesn't make you bling like that. It doesn't.
Sorry.
What's that? No.
We'll switch that off.
And it's difficult to kind of isolate things in like songs, like you say, or characters, because it's all just like a seamless mess.
The classic Disney films, you know the songs, you can sing it.
Yes, they get stuck in your head.
Yeah, they get stuck in your head, but there was nothing in this the songs were irritating.
Yeah. They're very irritating. Yeah. Very irritating, because it was the same... It didn't seem to go on any other key or any other chord. It just seems to be the same rhythm the whole way through. There was no variation. It didn't kind of elevate or it didn't dissipate. It was just like white noise.
You should have that on the poster. Into the woods, just like white noise.
White noise to kill your very soul.
Yeah. Got a soul. Watch Into the Woods.
So who's in it? Who's in Into the Woods?
Right. We have Meryl Streep, who has got an Oscar nomination for this film.
Okay, and
so let's just
dwell on
let's
that.
think of that for a second.
Are you aware of all the other films that she's been nominated in over the last few years?
Yeah. Oh,
all 18 of them.
I'm aware of some of them. Yes.
Okay. So which
was she nominated for Deer Hunter?
Do you know what? I think she had a supporting nomination for Deer Hunter.
Because she's brilliant in that.
Yeah, I mean, think about the ones where she... I like to use the word popped on screen. Yeah. Where she lit or did something on screen that made you go, wow. Thatcher, she did amazingly.
Yeah.
Julie and Julia, where she was that baker woman.
Oh, of course, yeah.
She was in that. Other films... No, yeah, I got two.
You got two. Yay! We broke it.
Hang on. It's coming to me. Devil Wears Prada. She was very strong in that.
She was, yeah.
I don't think she was nominated for Mamma Mia.
I should sincerely hope not.
But yeah,
right.
but nothing popped.
Is it sort of like Meryl Streep's in a film? Oh, we better give her an Oscar nod because she's not very good in this.
Well, to say she's not very good, she does exactly what is expected, but she doesn't take anything further beyond that. And I think that's probably because the production itself couldn't take itself further or give her any room to take herself any higher than just being there in the makeup, expressing certain emotions, singing the songs. That's kind of it. It doesn't kind of break out into anything like... There's not a moment where I feel afraid of her. There's not a moment where I feel...
I don't feel afraid for anybody in this film. No one's afraid.
I don't feel sympathy for her. I kind of felt confused by her relationship to everybody else.
Yeah.
And you know when the second giant comes along and they're all kind of standing in the woods there. In the woods. And in the clearing. They're all standing there. And Meryl Streep is no different than the baker. She's not. All of the characters just looked the same.
Yeah.
They didn't look. They weren't even. They were all just like spaced out in places like weenies. You know, like a little character. They've just been dropped and placed, and they're just the characters that have no personality or understanding of each other's awareness. There's no spatial awareness.
Yeah, I found the fact that James Corden was in it was strange. The baker.
Oh, the baker, yeah, and he also did the narration, which was
odd.
Where was it? Kind of came in and then it was gone. And
The narration comes and goes throughout the film.
Yeah, but
and then at the very end, he's sort of telling a story to the surviving group.
Ah, the surviving group. It's like, yeah.
Emily Blunt's in it, who I think is a really good actress, but not in this.
Strangely, yeah. I didn't really even notice her. She was the baker's wife, but I didn't really notice her as... Yeah, nothing special.
And it does come to something when the ever-annoying Tracy Ullman is the character that you think, oh, at least she tried to do something in the film.
She did, yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of Tracy Ullman. I've always kind of felt her a little bit... there's nothing wrong with the lady. She's done well for herself. She took herself to America and she's successful in her own right, but she's just not my cup of tea.
The anti-Ruby Wax.
Yeah, but she was the only actor who actually worked, who seemed to work a rise above the material, I should say. She's the only one who actually did something interesting. She's the only memorable one, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And she kept slapping that precocious kid in the face, which was nice to watch. Because he was annoying.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of very Oliver annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Bedknobs and Broomsticks, or Les Miserables. I think that's the thing. I mean, when you look at Les Miserables and you see all the emotional and the effort, the Hugh Jackman fire that came from that, and all the heartbreaking Anne Hathaway moment, and there was real soul in that movie. I mean, have you seen Les Miserables?
Yeah.
I mean, that was different. I mean, it was... Still, it's not something that I would go to again, but for musical, it actually there was effort.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm not a fan of musical theatre at all.
No.
I do find the whole idea of it inherently annoying.
Yes.
But, yeah, I watched Les Miserables and I got caught up in it. I can't say I didn't.
Yeah.
And everybody in it was really trying. It was really... brave move for everybody.
Even Russell Crowe. I mean, it's a brave... people...
Russell Crowe sang in this film. He did it very
well.
good.
Well, he tried. And
he tried to sing.
But it's like Edward Norton in Everyone Says I Love You, which is a Woody Allen musical. He said, I can't sing. Don't know why you want me to do this. I don't know why he sounds like... sounds like Woody Allen.
Sounds like...
Yeah, because he couldn't sing. Drew Barrymore in that film couldn't sing, but they tried because he said Woody Allen wanted people in that film to not be able to sing properly because he wanted to have real people bursting into song.
Yeah,
but with Russell Crowe, he really tried.
And I think a good distinction with that was Les Miserables. Everyone sang on set. It wasn't done in pre-production or post-production, whatever. But I mean. Everyone on set was singing. That was them singing. But in this, you can tell that when they're about to start singing, it's overdubbed. They're not singing. They've done it in a studio somewhere.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And you know, you can. It's a difference, and you can tell, and it's another thing that just fake about the film.
Do you think it was just all CGI mess then, that the actors weren't given the right direction in terms of being in a blue screen and then not having the music live? Well, they would have had the music live, but the whole experience didn't seem to be natural.
Okay, I'd say that's probably one aspect of it. I think some of it is they've just casted it wrong.
Yeah, that's also. I mean, Anna Kendrick.
Apart from the cow was brilliant.
Yeah, the two guys must be in that cow. Right?
Yeah. I wouldn't like to be the guy at the back, but the cow was really good. Called Milky White. That was his name. That was the cow's name.
What did you think of Anna Kendrick as Cinderella?
No, I like Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, I think she's
screen presence, but
up in the air, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, she an actress of that caliber, and Meryl Streep. None of them were able to rise above the sewage. It was like they were all just floating around in this wasteland.
It's like the people in it who are fantastic actors seem to come off worse, and the people who are not really terribly great actors look better in this film.
You're right.
With Chris Pine and whatever the other guy was called, there was a nice little comedy element to Chris Pine in this film, and I kind of, when they were having that song in the river, it was ridiculous, but in a funny way.
Yeah,
and.
In a way, it was like they were taking the piss of taking the piss. It doesn't sound right when you're saying it on radio.
They were taking the Michael.
They're taking the Michael. They were taking They were ripping a yarn.
They were taking the woods.
Taking the woods. They were straddling the woods between their legs.
Yes.
And not taking. There's an element of non-seriousness there, but then everybody else was trying to be serious. Maybe that's what it is. Trying too hard to be serious to a production that was just not.
That could be it. That might be it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Chris
comedy.
Pine thought this is ridiculous and just played it that way.
Yeah, that's what I kind of felt.
Because everything about his character, like the ridiculous hair and the way he thought of himself, was just.
Yeah, but have you noticed that Disney is not very? They're not very nice to their princes lately. I mean, if you look at Frozen, they had the prince who was nice in the beginning. Who was just playing on Anna's emotions. Yeah, talking about Frozen. You love Frozen. You haven't seen it enough.
I've seen it so many times.
You have the fortunate experience of having how old is she?
5.
5-year-old daughter who. How many times did she
I've got a
Frozen?
theory about Frozen. I think the writers of Frozen were fans. Were watching The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and thought, I've got an idea for a film. Because the main bad girl in, the sort of Nazi sympathiser in Last Crusade is called Elsa.
Yeah.
And when Elsa goes down the pit at the end, it goes into sort of nothingness. And Indy falls, and his dad grabs his hand. And Indy's like, Dad, I've almost got it, because he's reaching for the Holy Grail.
Yes, yeah.
And he's like, Dad, I've almost got it. And he goes, Indiana, just let it go.
Oh my God, you're 0.5% right there.
I just had it.
Yay!
Where did that come from?
But that's
So I think they were watching The Last Crusade and thought, Elsa, she's got blonde hair, yeah. Indiana, just let it go. I've got an idea for a song. Boom! A global
Last Crusade. Oh, break the ice, slice the ice.
But and then again, it's the underdog that gets the girl, isn't it? Like James Corden's the underdog in The Baker in Into the Woods, and then you've got Christoph, who's the underdog.
It's like Aladdin. I mean, he was the underdog as well.
Yeah.
You've got Jasmine and all that kind of thing. But the princes in these films are becoming evil. It's like the love interests to the protagonists are becoming evil, and that's kind of unusual, or at least mocked or not taken seriously. Into the Woods, they're not really that.
Yeah, is that Disney trying to say that we can't trust the monarchies? Because that'll go right against their Illuminati background, wouldn't it?
Oh no.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get there. But okay, so let's roll on. Let's roll on. Because time is short. Into the Woods is just, yeah. I'm kind of over it now. I don't think I ever want to see this again.
No, well, I think...
Will it be an Into the Woods 2?
Oh, God, I hope not. God, that'd be awful.
It'll be...
Once I got out of watching the film, I immediately texted Stephen and said, like, the best thing I can say about Into the Woods is that I never have to watch it again. That's the best thing I can say about that film.
Perfect. So Disney have done it again. Disney, they're a very hit and miss these days. Did they have a specific direction?
No, I think Disney's direction is to buy everything and release everything.
Yeah, you mentioned today that I thought they owned a few things. They own Pixar, Touchstone Pictures.
Well, yeah, I made a short list of all the companies and businesses that Disney run, and I'll just touch upon it now. So. They own Disney Nature, Disney Theatrical Productions, Touchstone Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, Miramax, Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Pictures, Disney Toon Studios, Walt Disney Animation Studios, Pixar Animation Studios, Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture International, Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment, within music, Disney Music Group, Hollywood Records, Walt Disney Records, television, ABC, WLS, KFSN, KTRK, KABC, WABC, WPVI, WTVP, KGO, Disney ABC, ABC Television Network, ABC Family, ABC Studio, A&E Television Network, The Biography Channel, Disney ABC Domestic Television, Disney ABC International Television, Disney ABC ESPN Television, Disney Channel Worldwide, History Channel, H2, Hungama, Lifetime Entertainment Services, SoapNet, Disney Junior, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN 3D, ESPN Classic, ESPN Deport, ESPN News, ESPNU, ESPN Enterprises, ESPN Interactive, ESPN International, ESPN Mobile Properties, ESPN On Demand, and within radio, WDDY AM, WDWD AM, WMKI AM, WGFY, WRDZ, WWMK, KMKI, KDDZ, WFDF, KMIC, WRDZ, KPHN, KDIS, KDIS AM, FM, WMYM, ESPN Radio, WMVP, KESN, KESPN, WEPN, within publishing. Hyperion Books, ABC Daytime Press, Hyperion, Jump at the Moon, Miramax Books, Voice, Disney Publishing Worldwide, Disney Digital Books, Disney English, Disney Global Group, Disney Global Children's Magazine, US Magazines, USPN, the magazine, ESPN. Do I need to talk about parks and resorts? Adventure by Disney, Disney Cruise Lines, Disneyland Resort, Disneyland Resort Paris, Disney Vacation Club, Hong Kong Disneyland, Shanghai Disney Resort, Tokyo Disney Resort, Walt Disney Imagineering, Walt Disney World Resort, Other? The Baby Einstein Company, Club Penguin, Disney Consumer Products, The Disney Store, Disney Apparel, Disney Accessories and Footwear, Disney Fashion and Home, Disney Food, Disney Health and Beauty, Disney Stationery, Disney Toys, Disney Interactive Media Group, Disney Interactive Studios, Disney Online Studios, Disney Mobile, Capital Theatre, The Muppet Studio, Playdom, Rocket Pack, and obviously we can't leave out UTV, Software Communications.
Sorry, my mind drifted. Could you say that again?
Yeah, of course. Disney Nature. Disney. I'm not doing it again.
Well, there's one bottle of water on the table, okay, and it's the Kirkland Natural Spring Water. And I was just wondering who will actually be the person who needs this the most.
Thank you.
Take it, drink it.
Is this?
Sorry, it's not loaded.
Kirkland Signature Natural Spring Water, a subsidiary of Disney.
Okay, so there's so many.
They own quite a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, is there a possibility that if Disney went out of business,
the world will implode?
I mean, do they know? Does that mean that they are a company that is full of over excessive ideas and they're not able to focus in on anything. Is this fear? Is this all about their fear of just not being one frickin' studio?
That doesn't speak of fear to me. It speaks of
control,
power. Yeah,
it's all about the power and the control.
And that is what Disney says to me.
Yeah, power and control. So I guess we can delve into a little bit of the dark side of Disney and their power and control.
I think we should.
How deep did you go? How dark?
I went, quite dark. Where I started to look into in the far-reaching corners of the internet. There are quite a lot of people that believe that Disney as a company is one of the players of the world, of controlling the world.
Right. Okay. They are one of the
Yeah.
There aren't many.
No, but I think they sort of put up there with like the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and Goldman Sachs of the world.
I've got Goldman Sachs. Yeah, I've heard about them. Yeah. So, what can you tell me? What?
Well, there's a lot of people out there that believe that Walt Disney was a 33-degree Mason and was part of the Illuminati.
Oh, there it is again. The Illuminati.
It tends to be far-right Christians who believe that the devil is controlling everything, and they are trying. The subliminal messages put into a lot of the early Disney and Disney throughout that are trying to trying to brainwash our children into growing up to be a certain way, to be evil.
Like, for example, that warning that we found on Into the Woods from that Christian fundamentalist who said that children should not watch this. It's full of, full of messages of satanic origins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is not good for radio, but there's a few pictures here. Now, the Lion King poster has you can sort of see in the clouds the face of a lion, can't you?
Okay, yes.
Someone has sort of traced out the picture of a woman's bottom out of the nose and the eyebrows of the lion.
Yeah. Okay.
You with that?
Okay,
so that's the poster is subliminally trying to tell our children to wear underwear.
Yeah, or to be proud of your hoochie.
Now this one I can see.
To be proud of your butt.
Yeah. Now this one.
I like big butts and I cannot Lion King.
Yeah. Very good. Now we've got Mickey and Minnie on the cover of
Bladded.
Yeah, called Bladded.
It sounds like bladdered.
And he's holding a cap which does look like a penis.
It does look like a penis. Okay.
Are you having that? I can see why he thought that.
I think they're having that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's more.
Yeah, check this out. Okay. This is Jessica Rabbit, and you can find all these on the internet. She does like a little movement where you see between her legs.
No way! She looks like she's in an aquarium. Where is she?
I'm not sure where this is from. Now, this is a Donald Duck cartoon, and if you look at the back, it says, "Ask about Illuminati."
No way! Are you sure that these things aren't just...
Well, this is the thing.
We need to find the original
Absolutely.
cartoons.
I found one that was out of Monsters, Inc., right?
Yeah.
And it showed... what was the big hairy dude called? Sully.
Yeah.
Him. And he'd come through like a closet or something, and he had this like look on his face, and to the side was like a drawing of two stick figures, and one of them had this stick figure bent over as if they were having sex.
Really?
But it was fake. I found out it was fake. These are just the ones that I found that I couldn't find if they were fake or not.
Questionable, yeah.
Yeah. There's one here, I forget what film this is out of, but you can see a Masonic symbol at the top of the door, and the all-seeing eye.
The all-seeing eye, but isn't the eye... Where was this? What film?
I can't remember.
It looks like sort of like Dark Crystal or something.
Yeah, but
possibly I don't know.
But,
yeah,
you know, if he was a Mason, he would put these things in anyway.
Yeah, but then even if he wasn't, if he was, it's probably a part of architecture and maybe.
What word can you see in there?
I see special FX, SFX.
obviously it's sex.
No. I think it's SFX, special effects.
But that's actually in the film. And then you've got the Little Mermaid poster, the temple trying to say one of the sort of towers in it is phallic shaped, like a penis.
But, okay. Yeah. And the
okay,
last
we'll
one.
we'll leave it there.
No, the last one.
The last one.
Oh, yeah, the poster in the background with
There's a lady with the boobs out.
Yes.
I need to go over and see if that's true.
Yeah, the thing about these, and I think that, sure, if okay, there's several layers of this that I kind of uncover. I mean, if they are in there, then they're put in there by sneaky little immature animators who are angry at Disney and have put things in just to kind of past them. I also think that, I mean, some of the things that are blatant, like the breasts and the penises, I can imagine that they would be, from that standpoint, that somebody put it there either as a joke or as a act of frustration and anger. But then there's some things that are found by the viewers, like the X-Sex and the stars. That's just simply people finding stuff.
Yeah, there was loads of stuff, like from the film Frozen when she's building the castle and she does a thing with her hand and like loads of ice blast from her hand, and they can find in that sex, the word sex within there.
Yeah.
But if you look hard enough at anything, you'll find
something.
Yeah, you will.
So I have I find them fascinating, even though I think all these artifacts are extremely fascinating and they make me laugh. Because especially with Minnie Mouse holding a giant dildo, is the funniest thing that but it happens in not just Disney. I mean, Disney isn't the only one that has this. I mean, if you think about all the Scooby-Doos and all the Flintstones, the Simpsons, there's probably that kind of stuff all along there, but nobody's just that passionate to look into it because they focus in so much on Disney, because Disney is this big mass conglomerate that they want to pull down.
Yeah, do you think that's why?
Yeah, and then
they want to attack Walt Disney.
Yeah, because they're especially if they're fundamentalist Christians who believe that Walt Disney is this satanic group of people, then they're going to want to find them. They're going to want to desperately. I mean, if they can find in The Shining everything to do with Stanley Kubrick and the faking the moon landing, which I think is a total bogus rubbish.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Then they can find could pull an episode of Friends and say that all of those that there's probably phallic symbols in that. There's probably phallus. I mean, life is full of just phallic objects. I mean, look around you. Look around you. I mean, there are things with holes and there are things that screw into holes. There are towers. There are towers with domes on the top of them. There are hose pipes splurt water out. Everything. Life is one big phallic, because that's how
the planet could be one big bollock.
It's just one big ball.
And then you got the moon, which is the unfortunate smaller one.
Yeah, which hangs a little bit higher. And,
yeah.
Everything, because as soon as you look into it like that, exactly. You see it.
But why Disney more so? Because even the Simpsons film, at one point, Bart puts on some Mickey Mouse ears and is like, "Look, I'm the mascot of an evil empire."
Yeah,
it's in the Simpsons movie.
It's because it's synonymous. Everybody who has a beef with Disney. I mean, we're not talking about the mass market of people who actually go out and buy the DVDs all the time and CDs and enjoy Disney because Disney is family fun. Take your kids to see Disney. Let's go to Disneyland. All those people are the masses that Disney reaches out to. But if you're going to be angry at something and you're going to find stuff, then of course everything automatically leads to the Illuminati. And I find it very strange that everything seems to lead to it, but why would phallic symbols be suggestively put in there if the Illuminati, are so desperately trying to keep things under wraps from everybody? Why put little messages? Why would Stanley Kubrick put little messages in The Shining just to kind of say, look, I can't hold it in any longer. I'm going to have to make this an 11. This is an Apollo. This is Apollo. This is Apollo.
Well, the thing with what the Illuminati is supposed to be, it's all about symbols, and they put these symbols into the film and everywhere, allegedly. So it's to say we're out there, but you don't know who we are. And it's a kind of... I would say if there is like a handful of people that control everything, they made the Illuminati up to hide behind that.
Well, yeah.
That's what I would say. We'll
It's
put
a
all this
screen.
stuff out.
It's a smoke screen.
So everyone obsesses over these symbols and all this to take away from what they're actually doing over there.
Always think distraction. I mean, and that's kind of how the world would work. And like we said in the previous one about Apocalypse, that guy who said that presidents don't run the planet, but everybody likes to think that they do.
Yeah.
Illuminati.
Everyone's got to answer to somebody.
Yeah, but the Illuminati is just a smokescreen, and everybody knows it. They're just reaching for things. I mean, if they can find two Twin Tower banknotes, all the Twin Tower images in banknotes, I don't know. Some of it just really gets on my nerves sometimes. But what else is there?
But like Walt Disney is people label him a fascist, anti-Semite, racist. He wore his mother's dresses and lipstick and was obsessed with the human bum. None of them are true.
No. He was probably a really nice guy, family man, who was very generous to his workers, and who knows? I mean...
I think he did. He wasn't... he did have views.
So does Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, exactly. Very good. He was sort of... He was... He hung around with a lot of right-wingers. They convinced him to join an organisation dedicated to ridding Hollywood of commies, the Orwellian-sounding Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals.
Well...
Which sounds quite scary. And many of the members of that were anti-Semites. So much so that Louis B. Mayer and Jack Warner, both anti-communists themselves, refused to join. He also approved a pair of cartoons, Three Little Pigs and The Opry House, that poke fun at Jewish stereotypes, the former by disguising the Big Bad Wolf as a hook-nosed peddler.
Okay, but...
And the latter by having Mickey's dress and dance like a Hasid. Hasid. Right, in Mickey's melodrama, the iconic mouse appears in blackface. The original version of Fantasia featured a half-donkey, half-black centuriate. A servant named Sunflower. In the pop-up book, she eats a watermelon, and the full-length film Song of the South was a controversial even in its own time upon its release, to perpetuated a dangerously glorified picture of slavery. But in 1940s America, those ideas and that way of thinking was natural,
and it was
not right.
No. But stereotype. I mean, a lot of these things I think of are stereotypes, and I think people pick up on stereotypes now and say no, you can't stereotype anymore. You can't say that
like if the Seven Dwarfs came out now and one of us referred to the dwarfs when they were on top of each other as a nigger pile, you'd be horrified.
Yeah, it would be horrified.
But it's all relative.
Yeah,
because in 1940s, that's how unfortunately people thought back then.
Yeah, and it was the word was not as big a stigma because everybody lived in smaller communities, so they only knew what that community talked about.
Yeah.
And if they were all bigoted, then bigotry would be a normal everyday activity.
Yeah, to put in a certain kind of context, in the 1970s, the Conservative government in this country had a political
rally,
I'd say, a political rally. And the motto was, if you want to for a neighbour, vote Liberal or Labour. And that's in the 1970s.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean? So, if political correctness has done one thing, it's made the Conservative Party hide their inherent racism behind creative language. But I thought that was way funnier than you thought.
No, I'm still stunned. I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
And yet, nowadays, anything that is separates, I'm surprised that colour separators in washing machines aren't called racist. It drives me crazy when the whole inherent thing about when something racist comes out, then all of a sudden people start saying, I don't know why they have a problem with Muslims. I have a friend who's a Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, look, I don't have a problem. Look, me, I'm hugging a Muslim. And it's like, well, no, just get on with everybody and just get over yourselves and stop trying to create the division. There's that wonderful...
They do it with gay people.
They do, exactly.
I'm not homophobic. One of my friends is gay.
One of my friends is gay.
Well, don't point it out then.
Yeah.
I have a
friend.
I have a friend. There's my friend.
Have a friend.
I love my friend.
It doesn't matter what they are or what they do. You know.
Oh, your friend's just she's kissing that other girl. Yeah, she's gay. So what?
Then you look at Disney, and this is why I'm taking it back to Disney. They are full of female protagonists. It's almost as if they are scared to have male protagonists in a lot of their films. They say that Disney films are targeted mainly to the female audience anyway.
Yeah.
So they want to have a strong female protagonist. But what do they always give the strong female protagonist in every single
a man.
They always have to have a man, and they have to fall in love with a man. All they want to do is to have love in their life, find a man that they can marry and have children. They also want power and glory along with it, and that obviously comes at a price of having to be horribly oppressed by all the male antagonists that come their way.
I suppose Into the Woods, she gets that and then decides it's not for her, doesn't she?
Yes.
She wants to go for... She doesn't want to be poor. She doesn't want to be rich. She wants to be somewhere in the middle.
Ah.
But then, you know, again, you could take anything and...
Yeah.
You know, I could make it suit your own worldview. Because you could take that and say, well, that's a nice thing. She had all the wealth that you could possibly have, and it's not for her. She didn't like it. Or you could take it as like it's Disney saying, if it was one of the Illuminati freaks, I'd be saying, no, that's Disney's trying to tell every woman to settle for the mediocre. Don't strive to be rich. You can
No.
You can take things so many ways.
Everything that you see, but because it's Disney, automatically it goes into this box of we need to rip this apart. Otherwise, we're not doing our job.
I did it similarly.
You don't do it with DreamWorks films. They do nice things about the DreamWorks film. They created this whole world, like a Marvel universe within DreamWorks world, where Shrek and all these characters kind of all link together.
But then one of these Illuminati freaks will be saying that when Fiona's the beautiful girl but falls in love with Shrek, who's essentially a beast, that's weird. That's them telling that the every beautiful girl needs to be with Satan. The Beast, you need to be with the Beast. You know, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, she falls in love with the Beast.
Yes, of course.
But the story behind it is like, it doesn't matter what someone looks like, it's what someone is.
It's actually he is a good person inside.
He's a good person inside, and that's what makes him a decent guy. But no, they'll look at that and say, that's telling everyone that they need to be with the Beast, the devil.
Cheryl Cole did that very much in her song, I've Fallen for a Monster, which makes it... that really goes out to say he's an evil bastard. He beats me. He does nasty things. He really is a nasty piece of work. Yeah. But I can't be without him. That's more obvious. That's more blatant. And yet that song is so loved by everybody, and nobody seems to worry about that. Yeah. There are inherent messages in songs, and yet it doesn't matter because it's Cheryl Cole and she's on X Factor, and that makes everything better.
Scottish. Because I was reading up on all the Illuminati stuff to do with Disney, I got wrapped up in it, and I found this song called the Shutterbug song, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's essentially this. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did, honestly, when I was watching that, I was thinking, that's...
You were thinking like an Illuminati.
Well, no, I was thinking... That's telling people, the younger generation, that it's okay to be watched all the time, because we are. Everything we've done, we watch. Yes. All our online,
So children, get used to it. Get used to it.
So they think it's normal.
Yeah.
Here's the lyrics. She's on the lookout, cameras ready, have no doubt. When there's a problem, she's right there, no need to shout. She's always in flight, on the case both day and night, sending the pictures right up to the satellite.
Yeah.
Shutterbug time, 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 shutterbug time. She's on the lookout. got her cameras ready, have no doubt. When there's a problem, if she's nearby, no need to shout. She's always in flight, on the case both day and night, sending a picture right up to the satellite. She's right here and it's...
But that's more that's no different to the fairy godmother listening in on the children and coming down at the right time to help them out. They're always listening. You know, Santa Claus always knows if you're naughty and nice because he's watching you.
Yeah. I should say that.
But this is blatant.
It is.
This is
the
blatant
shutter bug.
surveillance.
It's like a butterfly, but it's a camera.
It's a webcam.
It's a webcam, and it goes into a little girl's bedroom at night time and films it.
Yeah, which to a certain
That is kind of it's insidious.
It's on the nose. It's on the nose.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. Like I say, there are a lot of. I mean, Jiminy Cricket. I mean, he's a bit of a. He's there watching people. So there's nothing new, but this one actually puts it out there as more of a blatant image of surveillance and peephole mentality. But it's hard to tell. I mean, I'd love to be able to be a shutterbug in the studio of these Disney executives and to actually be there and understand what it is that they are doing and thinking.
I found a blog off a mum who'd written about her hatred toward Disney because of what certain programs had done to her children.
Really? Okay.
It's quite a long letter. What time are we on?
We're doing okay.
Right, okay, here we go. Disney has been ruining my kid. A job I can do quite well on my own, thank you.
Nice.
It's quite witty. I know it sounds drastic. Don't worry, I'm not going to launch into ridiculous diatribe about how Frozen has hidden gay agenda, huge eye roll, or is turning my girls into glittery, sparkly princesses who need a prince to save them. We are over the stage, thank God. This kind of sums up everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or that Miley Cyrus grew up and dared to climb out of her Hannah Montana box. In the interest of being a pretty laid-back mom who fights against my extremely conservative upbringing, I have tried to adopt a more moderate view of the world and its evils. With my girls, I am trying a more balanced approach, believing that they should not be sheltered constantly from American culture, taught to fear and judge and overreact to everything they see. My general philosophy has been to allow them to take part in age-appropriate music, movies and TV. That said, I may have gone too far. It's been a brutal winter and I confess my kids watch too much TV. School's cancelled all the time, which was only so much hot chocolate and board games I could muster before I would hand them the remote and rock quietly in a corner of the kitchen with a bottle of wine. Now I did check in with them, shouting, "What you watching?" I see I acted a bit then. And they would yell, "Ant Farm," or "Kicking It," or "Good Luck Charlie." I investigated, and these shows are all listed as appropriate for 8+. Fine. Every once in a while, they would call me in to watch some joke that they thought was so hilarious, and I would try not to think about how they should be watching something on the History Channel instead. Kids deserve some mindless, silly comedy and with no educational purpose, just like I deserve to watch Sister Wives and Grey's Anatomy. No big. Until a few months ago, my husband and I started noticing some differences in one of our daughter's behaviour. She wasn't acting like herself. She seemed to be putting on a show. She would fling her hair about and act like a sassy teenager and use lingo that sounded inauthentic and contrived coming from her. In these moods, she was extremely silly, always looking for a laugh. When this would happen, I tried to talk to her about it. I pointed out that it did not feel like her real personality and that people can sense when someone is not being authentic. We talked about crossing the line between silly and obnoxious. I stepped up my emphasis on important qualities like kindness, generosity, creativity. I asked her if she was acting like people on TV, and after much pressure, she would admit that she was getting her sayings and jokes from the Disney Channel. At this point, no real alarm bells were going off. She was experimenting, and we were talking about it. It opened lines of communication for me. A little her tossing in Disney lingo was not going to ruin her. But then, this dear daughter got into some trouble with friends at school. I met with her teachers and spoke to the parents and the other girls involved, and was shocked to hear some of the social things going on with my child at school. She is sensitive, loving, who was usually fiercely loyal and empathetic.
Empathetic. Sorry,
empathetic.
Empathetic.
Jesus, empathetic.
no. I thought it was pathetic.
The reports of her behaviour did not match what I knew of my girl. She was saying hurtful and judgmental things about other girls, throwing around conceited declarations, among other shocking things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the personal responsibility, and I am no way interested in making a lame excuse for my child. We dealt with the situation and helped her learn painfully but necessary lessons about jealousy, friendship, self-control, and hurtful words. While she was at school this week, I spent a good amount of time in quiet reflection. This week's events have been extremely trying as a parent. I find myself in new territory, acting on instinct. I spent a day watching some of her favourite Disney shows from start to finish, looking for answers. I could not be more horrified. Parents, are you watching this garbage? I certainly had not been. Beyond the quick minute or two, I had never sat and watched an episode of Ant Farm with the girls. Because it is Disney, how the hell do you go from Doc McStuffins, a show that saved me countless tears at the paediatrician's office, to this absolute trash? I so very worryingly figured that a company like Disney would not be promoting cruelty, bullying and sexism in their shows for young, impressionable children. I was completely mortified as I watched. These shows are laced with terrible social behaviour, like the scene in one where a nerdy boy walks up to a pretty popular girl and asks her out. She threw her a bowling ball and ran away screaming. Cue audience laughter. There were so many examples of rude, mean, responsible to difficult social situations for kids. Is this going on too long?
Maybe see where if there are any other.
Well,
I'll
sum it up. Yeah, followed by the character shrugging it off, recorded laughter, and the characters moving on without showing any realistic emotions. No anger, no hurt feelings. Comedy. I was disgusted. How in the world will we teach their children to be kind, to put a stop to cruel behaviour in schools when the Disney Channel is showing these bullying behaviours followed by laughter and no emotional response? It kind of goes on and on and on, giving examples of how.
That's fine.
How the sexism within these shows, it's laughed off.
What do you get from that?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? Because the thing is, when any child goes to school these days, they're going to be influenced by each other and by what they watch on television. That's easy. So that's easy. That's no brainer.
So to watch something when a not very good looking nerd kid goes up to a girl and the girl just drops and runs away screaming, and then the kind of laughter starts. Yeah, that's kind of saying that kind of behaviour is okay.
It does, yeah, and I can definitely see that. I have a problem with the cartoons that are on television now. Anyway, I mean, luckily I've got my little collection of old classics that I grew up with, and when I look at them, I kind of think, well, was I getting any bad messages from those? I mean, the Flintstones certainly, is quite a clean cartoon. The things that we grew up, Looney Tunes, were heavily violent.
They were.
And
some serious stuff happened to the Roadrunner.
There was there's no forgiveness, but it seems as though in the cartoons that we watched, we were taught that that these things were fictional. Okay, there was not one moment where I thought, oh, well, it's okay to walk around shooting rabbits and shooting ducks because they'll always come back again. No matter how many times you blow up a roadrunner or blow up a coyote, they'll always be back again. We didn't it's not as if that cartoons taught us the laws of invincibility, but we certainly felt as though that we could do things. But all kids do that. All kids think that they are invincible. But these days, cartoons are very on the nose about emotional. These are the emotional difficulties that she found in those cartoons, such as the bullying aspect of it. Yeah, I can totally say that's right as to what she said there. But it's not just Disney. I think she sounds desperate. The mother is desperately trying to figure out what's wrong with her children. But she pointed out right away in her letter that there is something about her parenting skills that makes me feel a bit questionable. Yeah, the fact that she lets her watch all these things without knowing, first of all, what it is that the children are watching. I certainly wouldn't, now that I'm a father, let Aspen watch anything unless I knew that it was okay.
No, I'm the same with River.
And it sounds like she can't wait to just put them in front of the television and disappear into another room and just drink wine. So, without saying any disrespect to the mother, you know, maybe there is an element of she needs to be looking at herself as well as a parent.
Yeah.
Are you warm enough?
A little bit chilly, but I'm okay.
Just looking at that, it's blue.
Yeah, it's a bit cold.
It's cold. Should I go and throw the heating on?
Well, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. Yeah, it is getting cold. I'm feeling a little bit frozen. But we are going to have to let it go.
Oh.
That's a terrible laugh.
You're just a bit of a fixer-upper.
Yeah, to wrap it up, I think Disney is Disney, always has been. You know,
that's very true.
And
they are not going away. In just 2015, we are having, from the Disney Empire, Strange Magic, which is a story by George Lucas based on Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
We've
Stealing
got,
from Shakespeare, as usual.
Yeah.
Yep.
McFarlane USA, Cinderella, Monkey Kingdom, Avengers Age of Ultron, Tomorrowland, Inside Out, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Ant-Man,
Make it stop! Oh, make it stop!
Is everybody ready?
To sing along!
With Disney songs.
Sing along!
Now you at home can sing along with your favorite Disney song.
Okay,
We will play
no,
and we know.
You understand it?
You know, I'm going to take this opportunity to let the people know how they can contact our friends at Frame by Frame. They do that podcast
You
thing.
know, two guys, yeah, they do the podcast, okay? So
They're nice. They're like a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And so if you want to do the communicating thing, you know, the social networking thing.
Yeah, you can tweet those guys at Frame by Frame 78. If you'd like to go to their website, that will be www.roastedportions.com.
You don't need to do the www. It's implied that it's going to be the World Wide Web.
But people need to know that.
Okay, just go to roastedportions.com, okay? You go down on the right-hand side, you've got the social connections. You can talk to the people who do the show. You can even talk to the people who made that movie, you know, CACO3.
Who'd want to talk to those mooks?
I don't know, they made a pretty interesting movie, right? It was in black and white.
Yeah, black and white. I like
you know,
that.
We like black and white, and there was also some trees in that movie, too.
Oh, trees. It's like being in a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Other connections, you can really get to know these people on YouTube as well, and if you want to comment on their podcast, I urge you to do that. Okay?
Yeah, I think it is a proper, really nice thing if people want to start contacting these guys.
Subscribe to them and comment. I mean, it's just polite, you know.
Also, you can email them at framebyframe78@gmail.com.
That's it. I think that's everything wrapped up, so.
Hey, I'm gonna go and plant a tree somewhere.
Okay, you go plant some trees.
I'm gonna go and plant a tree.
I'm gonna go tweet.
You tweet, I'll plant a tree.
It's us. We're out of here.